Okay, and here we are with the next part of the Dark Souls walkthrough. So, in this video, I'm going to take on Sen's Fortress and Anor Londo, start to finish. So, here, Sen's Fortress, I had forgotten to record for a good amount of the way through it, and so here, what you're looking at is a pressure plate right there, pointing down to it. That is triggered, obviously, when you step on it. You can use it if all 3 bolts hit to take down one serpent man. No, serpent, whatever. 3 hits is gonna get him. So I've upgraded an Uchigatana to +9, and the Yatsu to +5. And the Pyromancy Flame to +9. Pyromancy Flame getting it from Laurentius, who we saved from the depths. These guys can drop Man Serpent and Greatswords, a pretty good strength weapon. So here, just heading back through. Like I said, I've already gone through up pretty much to the end. That's where this gate will not be there on your first time through. That's something you have to make happen on your own. But I had almost gotten to the end, and I realized that I hadn't recorded progressing through any of it, so I have to go back. So coming up through here, right now I've got no poise, which means it's a smart idea to hold my shield up here. Obviously it's not going to block 100% of lightning, but it will. Okay, pressure plate right here. You can see that. It's going to knock 3 bolts from that wall. You can use those to take down that snake mage as well. And in that chest is 2 large titanite shards. So down here there's gonna be a snake man and one. I can't remember if I've already redirected this boulder. Up there is the Ring of Steel Protection that adds 50 to your physical defense. A lot of times it's good for if you have an endurance or a level restriction, because if you can't actually wear any heavy armor, it's a lot more beneficial at lower levels, where 50 is, equal to a couple pieces of armor. You can later on get 50 physical defense from a 3 weight armor anyway, which easily can be taken down by Havel's Ring. Anyway, so going down here to get the covetous gold serpent ring. This ring increases your item discovery by 200. So what you're gonna have to do is wait in this little area to the left, and eventually those boulders will fill that gap and pile up. Then the next one is going to crush through that wall. Okay, here, important, is a mimic. It looks like a treasure chest, except the chain on the side is facing a different direction. So you just come through here and you just fight it. Just try to stay behind it, and do not try to open it because it probably will kill you in one shot. Here is here's an elevator, as you can see from the bloodstains on it. You can either go forward or get speared by these. I've actually seen the mimic brought up here and killed by the spikes, but I recommend just getting off the elevator. So Heal Miracle comes in handy because it takes significantly longer to use than a flask, so whenever I can, I want to use that if I'm not in a fight. I don't need to use it fast. It's almost like having extra 5 flasks. So here, I'm just directing the ball away from where I want to go. Here, just backstep and dodge those. People don't use backstep much for anything, except with the Darkwood Grain Ring, but one of the main benefits that I see to it is that it does have infinite poise in some situations, and if you know you're gonna get hit and you can't dodge, then okay, get the Snake Mage first, because if you go and fight the other one first, then he will come down and chase you from the back. So, going down this way, like I said, he'll chase you, so you gotta take care of him first, but there is this guy guarding a body with 2 large Titanite shards on it, which I already said I have collected before, but forgot to record that. So, right there. So, large Titanite shards are used to upgrade a weapon from +5 to +10, or armor from to 4, 5, and 6. That is armor that upgrades with standard Titanite, not Twinkling. So 2 more pressure plates should not be at all an issue. Here, this is, now you're essentially out of the trap area of Sun's Fortress, but jump over this wall to get to the bonfire. Like I said, a backstep can be used just like a roll when you hit the ground in order to prevent that momentary stun while you regain your footing. So, going this way is 2 Balder Knights, as well as a Flame Stone Plate Ring. What it does is raise your fire resistance by 50. The Goldhem set, where you got from the Ceaseless that I'm wearing now, has very high fire resistance for its weight. To my knowledge, the highest fire resistance for its weight. These guys are using a Balder side sword, and given that I am a Dex build at this point, I thought it would be smart to put on the Gold Serpent Ring. In hopes that I would get the Balder side sword, because it is, I want to say it's classified as a thrusting sword, but yeah, it has really, really good thrusting attack, these heavy ones. But no, it scales well with dexterity, and I haven't used it as much as I'd like to, so. Up there is a sniper crossbow. It weighs, I don't know if it's 6 or 9. It's a lot, but that I never really got the point of sniper crossbows, because you can't manually aim them except with binoculars, and at that point it's extremely impractical. Alright, so what you can hear, that grunting noises the whole time and the explosions, that is that's a giant throwing huge firebombs at you. Before all the patches, the giant was extremely good at hitting you. He would kind of anticipate where you were going to be, but now he's, as long as you stay moving and don't backtrack too much at a time, then he's not going to hit you. I don't really know what I was going for with Ricard here. This is just a completely embarrassing fight, because I thought that he had significantly less health than he did, and anyway. So as with most enemies, backstab is a very good opportunity to heal. Ricard's rapier that you, of course I want to use force as much as I can, because I got 21 casts of this one as well. Rapiers like that don't have a kick animation, they just have that, which will not deflect off your shield. As most of his attacks you can just block, and when he gets deflected, hit him. Kinda like that. But his kick, where he kinda grazes you with the sword, with a sweeping side motion, that will not deflect. Rare Ring of Sacrifice. I never really used a Ring of Sacrifice because I figure that unless it's that one fight with Seath and you have a lot of souls, then it's not really worth having, because an extra ring would help you survive a lot more than, or having a ring would help you survive a lot more than just anticipating that you're going to die. Unless there's an extremely good chance that you're going to die and you're just trying to make a suicide run in somewhere. So here, heading to the left here, this has to be a jump. I'm gonna stick to the left side of that. And in here is the Crestfallen Merchant. He wears the steel set, which is, to my knowledge, the heaviest set that you can wear that does not impede stamina regeneration, meaning when you wear Havels and Stone and Black Iron, which is Tarkus's and everything else, then they slow the rate at which your stamina regenerates. Okay, these guys know their attacks don't do an enormous amount of damage on their own, but each of those is a separate bleeding weapon. Okay, here, Cage Key. I already picked it up. That's, like I said, I had gone back to the beginning. Like I said, the Serpent Mage, they have 4 Flamberge, which is a curved greatsword, or maybe it's just a regular curved sword. It does bleeding damage, so getting hit with 4 bleeding weapons counts as 4 bleeding hits. And if you are not wearing bleed-resistant armor, will bleed you in 1 hit. And given that you're probably a low level at this point, will one-shot you between 4 hits and that.
No, but I'm no different. You think... Yes. So...
So he's the first guy that will sell you large Titanite shards. Balder Shield, I love the Balder Shield. At fully upgraded, I want to say it has 74, 75 stability.
Go along, try.
For reference, the Crest Shield only has 60-some. Heater Shield, okay, down here, I guess it's kind of good. Sniper Crossbow. Like I said, you can aim a crossbow with binoculars that you can get in the graveyard before the catacombs. It's not generally useful because crossbows are inferior to bows in just about every way. But if you have a guy who doesn't have the dexterity for a bow, say below 12 or 11 or whatever the enemy is, say if you're doing a soul level 1 run, and you want to shoot inward off the tower without actually going into all the ghosts, it's helpful. So here, 2 cages. You picked up the cage key from down that tower. You get in there and you ride to the bottom, and then you can ride it back up. And now there is a shortcut from the beginning of Sen's Fortress to right here. So next step is just to go all up this way, and Scorch Mark right there means Giant will throw firebombs here. So Boulder Shield has higher than my +2 or +3, I think, Crest Shield with regard to stability. So the Giant's 2 main attacks are just kind of a swing, and then this where it just goes nuts and then suddenly has a cooldown period where he can't attack. I'm not doing a lot of damage here, but what I'm counting on is the bleed. So my aim here was so 1 punch destroyed my, I don't know how much stability shield, 62, and most of my health. So at this point I'm realizing that I might as well just go out and fight him straight on rather than waiting for his cooldown after his big attack. doesn't have a ton of health, and I guess I was doing more damage than I thought I was, but he guaranteed drops wind type jump. These, as you can see, are hollow, don't do anything. Over there is Tarkus. You have to be in human form to summon him, but I didn't really feel like being invaded during this time, so I wasn't. Tarkus, to my knowledge, can take care of the Iron Golem all by himself. You just have to not get hit. So here's the Iron Golem. Shoots a wind blast. I can't remember if I screwed up this fight really bad or not. So the Golem has very high physical defense. He has a grab attack that can throw you off an edge easily, so don't recommend being thrown off the edge there. So now purely physical damage. My +9 weapon is hitting 40 some damage on him two-handed. Hit him enough, he will fall down and be unable to fight back for some time. If you knock him down when he's close enough to an edge, he will fall off. So once you see him kind of teetering like that, I guess I was hoping that, one big hit would knock him down a little bit better than a bunch of small hits. So, core of an Iron Golem makes the Golem Axe, which is not nearly as good as the Great Axe you can make it from, though it does have a ranged magic attack. And the Dragon Bone Fist, which is a terrible, terrible fist weapon, but has it has an uppercut move that just destroys boys. Takes forever, and it's kind of a joke of a move, except that nobody knows how to defend against it because nobody uses it. So it's not really great. It has a pretty sizable weight to my knowledge, so you're generally better off. I had forgotten how great that opening cutscene, that reveal is. I love it. So, Anor Londo. Great. So, heading down here with 40-some thousand souls on hand. I don't want to lose that. Sentinels here won't aggro unless you get too close to them, so they can be bled, but their shield nullifies all damage 100%, so attacking in the shield will do absolutely no good. Any spell, any miracle will do absolutely no good. So here I changed up my armor a little bit. So got a 63 poise, which is a good amount, especially for this point. This weight restriction, that is. I've been upgrading vitality hardly at all, and endurance a lot, so my stamina bar is almost as big as my health bar. Here, this gargoyle just I'm terrible at fighting these things. I'm really, really bad. But poise lets me not even get stunned with a big two-handed attack. Like I said, I'm absolutely awful at fighting these things. There's high stability physical damage shield. That's me wanting to cut its tail with the tail axe. I don't even like the tail axe, but you know, it's there, and why not? So go down here and go through this little archway on the way to get Demon Titanite. Demon Titanite is used for things that you make from boss souls primarily, but also I want to say the Titanite catchpole, maybe? Can't remember. And the Demon Spear, which is a quality weapon. It scales a C with both strength and dexterity, and does scaling lightning damage, which is... it's very good. I've seen a lot of higher level PvP with that. So here, going up this, very carefully go through those walkways, because a lot of times your camera will freak out, and walking straight will throw you off the edge. Painting Guardian falls down from here. Painting Guardian set has crazy poison resistance, so I think it's, when upgraded, it's the highest in the game out of everything, even heavy armor sets. Generally, heavy armor doesn't have the best poison resistance, but I want to say Black Iron does. So, Wanderer Manchette is really one of the best light armor glove set, or glove pieces. I have used black leather on a lot of my guys, but Wanderer I've found has very good. So Hidden Body here, I love Hidden Body as a utility spell. They don't see me coming until I'm right there, and they throw throwing knives at you, which usually isn't too much an issue. I expect these guys to deflect on off my shield, but because it's a regular shield, they do not. So I just could not get enough of this. I want to say that because Force can repel things like homing soul mass and soul arrows, that it could probably reflect throwing knives, but they jumped into my Force and it didn't get them, so I don't know if that's the case. Going through here, the way this little turning elevator works is it follows the curve of the stairs. If you push it the way the stairs go down, then it's going to move the whole platform down. And of course, converse to that is push it the way they're going up. There are 3 levels, and now there is a gargoyle who is not the happiest you're here. You can falling attack on him, but here I wanted to bleed or stagger him. So I cut off the tail, but I didn't get the tail out, so I thought that was kind of cheating on the game's part, but, you know. Like I said, it's not really a huge deal, I just kind of didn't want to miss out on it. So, I got all 3 of those. Gargoyle's Halberd, I've used as a chaos weapon because it has pretty awful scaling. It's, I think, D's, strength and dexterity, but as a chaos weapon it does a lot of damage. So these giants, this one in my, I want to say it was my level 1, it might have been my sorcerer, level 3. If you go over here, they will lose aggro range of you, but if you go around making too much noise, then they will pick you up again. See, I went too close and I ended up pissing them off, so I don't really want to do that. And then Giant's armor, obviously because they're giants and they are wearing armor, but Giant's armor is the highest physical defense armor in the game, but does not have the highest weight. Full set, besides the helm, has 77 poise, meaning you can take a two-handed hit from anything and not get staggered, including ultra great swords. So I kind of wanted to knock him off, but I realize now that it wouldn't happen. But it's not like I needed them. The casting is a force. So these guys, I lure them up one at a time. Not because they're especially dangerous, just because they're such lightweights when you hit them that you can't very well fight them all at once. You can't just one-combo them unless you back them against a wall. That, because its lightning does a good amount of damage through my shield still. They have wings and they fly, but they will jump off edges to their death relatively often. Here, I had never used Hidden Body until my Sorcerer playthrough. Never used the Ring of Fog at all, and I've never had a problem with these archers ever. I don't know why everybody complains about them, but you just keep running non-stop, and once you get up to here, like I said, I'm just doing this now kind of for good measure. I'm much more worried about the gargoyles. And then you just run up here, and to the right directly, and hopefully the one on the left doesn't see you, and hopefully you don't suck at parrying, but, so, of course, I want to make as much use of force as I can, also because he looks funnier falling. So, anyway, down here, in this door to the left, and light this bonfire. This is going to be, a lot of people might get stuck here, so I don't think I've changed around any armor or anything else. I usually just cut that out because, I mean, I check repair armor and equipment like 8 times because I can't help it. Silver Knights, I can poise through their attacks, which is kind of unusual for me because usually I have very low poise. Fake wall right here. Once you get it with force, and it turns out you can, usually you can just hit it or roll through it. Down here is Havel set as well as a Mimic. Okay, see how the chain is facing you on this? That's just something to note. Like I said, always get behind Mimics. They're fun to play with. They're not terribly dangerous, but they can do ridiculous jumping kick attacks and everything. Occult Club. Okay, and if you look at these, I don't think I get a good angle on it, but see, the chain is not facing the same way. I've just kind of come to know which ones are mimics and which are not, but if you're not sure, I would always just hit it, because there's no penalty at all for hitting a treasure chest that has something in it. So, that's Havel's set, highest poise in the game, 121 with the full set. That's kind of excessive, and it weighs a bunch. The chest piece alone has, I want to say, 48 poise, which is greatly exceeding anything else you can expect from a chess piece. The Hornet Ring on here, not that it makes a lot of difference, just because why not? So this door is now open. Sorry I didn't go through the entire Silver Knight Castle here, but I always take the shortcut because there's nothing else I want in the whole area. In these two chests are the 4 pieces of Silver Knight armor. Silver Knight is pretty decent lightning resistance, and lightning is not a common type of damage from most enemies. And though most weapons can be upgraded along the lightning path, there are very few that do it natural lightning damage. So lightning is not always... Okay, Black Eye Orb. This is what we got from the body of the Firekeeper back at Firelink Shrine. But I cannot find it, apparently. See this process right here, searching for World of the Guilty? That is the same, you use an Eye Orb and that happens. That's the same as the Blade of the Dark Moon, which if you were to take that elevator, the giant rotating elevator, down to the bottom and you go to the bottom of it, you're going to find a Dark Moon tomb. It's just going to be a giant statue. If you bring the Dark Moon Seance Ring to it, which was in the catacombs, and I might cover that later, I might not, then you can open that up. The other alternative is killing Guinevere, and that will open up on its own. I think you may have to absolve sins after that anyway, but I think I put on the Hornet Ring here. I might have. Because really, 3-on-1s. It's backstabs and parries, that's all it is.
Well,
it's the only way to do the amount of damage, at least online.
I thought you were wiser. But I thought wrong. 'Tis a terrible pity. Like a moth flittering towards a flame. You fellows, no? Don't you agree?
So, you can't use Estus when you're in another world, obviously. He partial parried that, and so I just kind of took that. You can't use Estus in another world, one that's not your own. So you gotta use Humanity or the Heal Miracle. So that is where you find her Firekeeper Soul, as well as the Ring of Favor and Protection. Favor and Protection is a ring that increases equip load, stamina, and health by 20%, but you can't ever take it off, or else it will break forever. So, once you get into New Game Pluses and whatever else, you can play around with that a little bit more, but by play around with that, I mean you'll have like 5 of them, possibly, and it's okay to break one, but no, it's a commitment to make, and you see them a lot in PvP, but it is a commitment, and you're not going to be able to play around with it as much. If you're doing a low-level challenge run, I wouldn't recommend it. So, see you next time. I got wrecked a lot worse in this fight than I expected to. Usually I can get through them without really an issue. I would strongly recommend summoning Solaire outside. Fighting Ornstein Smurf first is by far, I think, the easier fight. Friendly fire, and it's the biggest trash game ever, because they would kill each other. I know they would. Smo can be bled, he's weak to everything, he has terrible defenses, and he's especially weak to lightning. So, Ornstein is weak to fire, and do not hit him with lightning, because it does almost nothing. Had you killed Ornstein first, Smo would have gotten Ornstein's lightning power. His hammer would have been electrified and done electric damage, and what he does is ground pound, I guess you could call it, his butt slam. Then lightning shoots out. So Ornstein, I haven't fought him on his own in a while now. So I really had to get used to the moves here. His lightning will not travel through pillars, though his spear will. And that's something you just gotta know. So here's where I kind of just decide that lock-on is not the way to go, and I'm just gonna play around with his feet. General, stay as close to him as you can. When you see him about to jump, you're going to want to run, roll away. I would very, very, very strongly advise less than 25% fast roll. Do a quick load. I don't even know how he hit me there. He did, so. Because these guys, like I said, if you're low level, there's a very good chance that they're going to one-shot you. With that attack, I've been one-shotted by that a lot of times. The actual reason fighting Ornstein second is because he drops the item, the Leo Ring, which is especially good with thrust weapons, which, yes, halberds, but also things like spears and the Boulder Side Sword that I was going for earlier. Any kind of thrust weapons, which generally tend to be dexterity weapons, and that is how the stats are looking on this guy. So, going through, just kind of keeping that. It's a little bit about just attrition, you know. Hit him more than he hits you, and eventually one of you is going to be ground down. So 95 is not terrible damage. That's really not. And then the Leo Ring is not an auto loot item. I've never died to Ornstein at the same time I killed him. I don't know if you die afterwards, maybe it goes away, I can't say. That's a scary prospect, but I don't know what happens in that situation, because I know that people have died to the Stray Demon and lost the chance on that Titanite slab, but... So here's a bonfire at 50,000 souls and the Leo ring. So going in here to get the Lord Vessel. The Lord Vessel is an amazing item in that it lets you warp between bonfires, meaning no running the
Thou
length
hast
of the
journeyed
world to...
far and overcome much, chosen undead. Come hither, child.
No running around the whole world, just
O
farming.
chosen undead, I am Guinevere, daughter of Lord Gwyn and Queen of Sunlight. Since the day Father his form did obscureth, I have awaited thee. I bequeath the Lord Vessel to thee. And beseech thee,
So,
thou shalt...
so she's telling you that with this Lord Vessel, you're gonna be the new Lord, obviously. So, bonfire here, level up a bit, and this is something I had forgotten to include, just a few seconds worth. Over here, since I had let Lautrec kill Anastasia, back at Firelink, here is his armor set, and I mean that in that I took him down with a black eye orb over there.